says we're live right
We
now.
are live.
Okay, well, let's not
Hold on.
screw around it.
We're not. There's a timer right there.
Saying
So,
what? Just sit there and stare at us?
Well, no, I'm looking for the song range.
Okay. I wish you wouldn't start it like this. I feel like, I really wish you wouldn't do it like that. But
Nope.
I am like that movie, Say Anything, where he holds up the boombox.
This one?
Yeah. Okay, guys. Ooh, I need to turn my headphones on.
Wow.
We're not off to a good start.
We're doing great. What are you talking about?
Coming at you live like a 90s mixtape. Ooh, Keith Sweat. Who did bad things to this song? Let me tell you. Let me hear you say you'll never leave me. Ooh, love will make me feel so right. Oh, that's not yet. Listen.
All right. So
Guys.
we're paying our copyright dues.
Woo,
All
Lord.
right.
Well, we're never going to go viral because we've now infringement.
That's not true.
That's not the reason we're never going to go viral. Okay, anyway, welcome to the Doug and Heidi Show, a.k.a. Hug McGurk. Huh? Here to give you all the love and the feels. This is our theme song.
All right.
That's how I feel at 5 o'clock.
Well,
Thank God it's not 5 yet. So, anyway,
there you go. Got it?
welcome to the show where we aim to, entertain and delight you, of course, right? But also give you some practical tips and tools and strategies that you can apply in your own relationship.
And beyond.
And beyond, right? To have the relationships that you deserve and the life that you really want. And let's face it, lately, I'm sure we have some, even the best of relationships where people are getting on each other's last nerve.
Yeah, I guess there'll either be that, and then
Or babies.
the coronials.
Or babies that have.
The coronials, the Covidians.
Ooh, the Koreans.
Branch
Branch Davidians.
Davidians, not Covidians. Yes. Yes, it was the.
What was that?
time.
I like cults. I mean, I don't like them, like to get involved with them. But I do like them in the sense that they're fascinating to me. I like to study them and
There's a
learn.
loud static sound.
How did this happen?
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a loud static sound?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna have to test this. Thank you for whoever is sharing that. Thank you. Oh, Ivanka. Okay, hold on.
Can we come back out and go back in?
No,
And
let's
start
see.
over?
We can.
All right, we're going to start over,
guys.
guys. Okay, just end it. Let's start over.
Oh, that is bad.
start
Okay,
over.
we'll be back. Sorry.
Guys, let's try this again. Take 2.
More gooder.
Coming at you live like a mixtape from the 90s. Talking
Without
about
static.
Tips and tools and strategies. Don't let our love end.
Make it last.
Let me hear you tell me you love me. Let me hear you
Did you make out to this song?
With Keith Sweat.
Well, no, not with Keith himself. But did you actually make out to the song? Because if we had met in high school, if we had met in high school, we never would have been attracted. Do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Hey guys, let us know. Let's make sure the sound is good. Yes,
Perfect.
it's
She says, yeah. I know. Thank you. I know. I saw what I did wrong.
So listen, because I was like Keith Sweat. I was like hip hop. I was like, into that kind of into that vibe. And you were not. You were into
metal.
heavy metal, and I didn't like that at
Metal.
all.
Well, also,
I still don't like that at all.
Zeppelin. I was into Zeppelin.
That's not really like hair band metal, though.
No,
That's
I know.
like-
I listened to Zeppelin, King Crimson, yes, but then AC/DC, Kiss, Metallica.
I mean, I did get hot and heavy to Whitesnake a couple of times, but not because I liked the music per se, but because I liked what was happening.
See, so you would have been. You just didn't. You were not a fan of the long haired long hairs.
No,
I was a
not.
long hair.
I was the preppy. I like the preppies.
I was a stoner.
I was a cheerleader.
I was the dirt bag, the
Opposite sides of the
metalhead.
track, guys.
I was not thought of fondly.
But
What you
actually,
gonna do?
my first boyfriend was a drug dealer, so I don't think it was the wrong side of the tracks. I think that it was a bad. It's just not my first boyfriend, but one of them. It was just like a bad scene. It was like everybody had one. Who had one of those? Who still has one? Okay.
The drug dealer?
Well, a bad relationship. That's why we're here today, because hopefully with the Doug and Heidi show, Hug McGurk, we are here
Back to oh no.
to give you we're looking for our theme song, and so we recorded Ellie to like make potentially a theme song. I think it'll be really
I
good.
can't put it
But
together
I found
at this
a bunch
point.
of
yeah.
like ridiculous like little clippets of songs. Clippets, that's not a word. But
Clippets.
snippets of songs, and but none of them are really working, and there's this one that's like totally ridiculous, and I was like, well, it's 5:00 somewhere.
Where did it go?
I don't know. It's you can see it by the.
There you go.
This is bad. Like we're all stupid. What are we doing here? Okay. Let's give it the best we can, okay?
Who's
But
this
nobody
one?
really knows
John
anything.
Cena. This one looks like it might be good.
Feels like I just needed to keep doing this.
How this one?
I'm a banana. I'm a banana.
No, that's not.
No.
That's just.
You gotta.
Yeah, I listened to NWA when I was growing up. When you were listening to metal, I was listening to NWA, driving around with my seat back like this. Like I
Were you
thought I
really?
was yes, I
In your
was.
Cutlass?
I was literally like a Cutlass Sierra, the Shirley. We named her Shirley because she was blue, and she was terrifying, and she had a horn that would go off randomly and wouldn't stop. So it was like possessed. Who saw Christine? Who saw that car, Christine, right? That's a good movie. She was like possessed, like that car, and her horn would go off. Anyway, I was reaching for a cigarette one day on my way to college, and I ran to the back of an 18-wheeler.
Where were you reaching for a cigarette?
It was on the floor. It fell.
Was it lit?
I don't know, probably. But I
Were
was
you
like-
with your
I was
drug
like
dealing
driving.
boyfriend
No,
getting high at that time? Like,
I didn't get high.
oh,
I like
let me
the
get a
money, not the
cigarette.
drugs.
Oh.
Let's be clear. I like the money, not the drugs. Okay. But I was like, reaching for the cigarette and smashed a whammo bammo. That is this scar here. That was 19 stitches. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's an impressive cigarette.
It's an impressive scar.
Yeah. All right.
Hello. Shall we get to our topic tonight? Instead of just sitting here bantering back and forth like a couple of jerks.
Derp, 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 derp.
So, Douglas, today we are offering up and serving up some tips, strategies, and tactics to,
Tactics.
no less, to see if we can save this relationship, shall we?
Whose
Some of these
relationship?
things, I don't know. Some of these
Oh.
things, ours. Some of the newsflash. No, just kidding. Some of these things are. I can't even joke about that because, aw, baby. No. I remember when I really realized that I was in love with you, and that this could be a really great relationship for me. When we were sitting on the couch in New York, and I grew up with sarcastic sense of humor all around me, right? My brothers are like some of the best at like saying something to you that is so hurtful but hilarious at the same time, that you're doubled over in pain from like, oh man, burn, like, but it's hilarious. It's so funny. But anyway, I said something to you. I was getting to know you, and I said something to you that I thought was hilarious, and it was like this sarcastic thing, and you literally looked at me like this, like I killed your cat. And I was like, oh, you're going to make me a better person. Oh, I get this. Okay. Oh, you're going to raise the standard here. I'm going to have to like be kind and not do my shtick with you. So that was good.
I don't remember the comment. I vaguely remember the moment, I guess.
Well,
But
it was my
being
moment,
me,
Doug. It wasn't your moment. It's fine. No.
Well, I mean, apparently you said something that made me
No,
make
it
a
wasn't-
weird face.
It wasn't even
so,
that bad. It's just you're sensitive. It wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't even that bad.
well,
It wasn't even one of my better zingers. Okay, it was just like a random flyby kind of thing. Yeah. But you know.
yeah, I'm sarcastic.
Okay. Okay.
You don't think I have a dark,
think so?
sarcastic sense of humor? I'm not mean about it. I don't tend to.
I think your
I don't point
humor
out
is
people's weaknesses
Well,
as
that's
a
what's
guideline.
funny. No, I'm just
No,
kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not funny. It's dysfunctional. So you didn't grow up in dysfunction, okay? I think like some of the best comedians in the world that are able to like make funny what's not funny are grew up in like serious dysfunction. Some of the funniest people that I know, and that's part of my like what I love to do is be able to make some of that stuff funny when you're talking about such heavy things or such things that are so terrible sometimes. Like just in my work, I talk about some really heavy subjects. So being able to like bring funny to, the dysfunction is a gift, I think, for a lot of people that grew up that way. But it can be used as a weapon too.
Yeah,
so it's not always the best thing.
Well, and then what is the thing when it's too soon? Is that not
Just poor timing.
okay? So all right. So when we're being sarcastic and making a joke over something dark, is the temporal relationship have anything to do with the level of sarcasm?
No, already you've lost everything because just the way you speak sometimes it goes down these things and it's like, what do you just no, the timing is everything. Yes.
I know the timing is everything. I meant
really
though
important.
that when
yes,
you
it's important in telling jokes, but you're like, it's the temporal dynamic of the temporal speed of the lobe of the lobe. I mean, it doesn't even belong there, but you know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't
that's
use
how
that.
you. But yeah, so no, yeah, timing is important for shiz.
I know timing is important. I meant like when you say something
Ask
to
a baby. Timing's really important.
Okay. Well, let's get back to
Hello.
moving on.
So
Too soon?
let's talk about saving a relationship. Some of the strategies that we're going to give you today are going to be like common sense, no brainer. Some of them you're going to be like, yeah, okay, we know this. But there's a big difference between knowing something and doing something. And like John Maxwell says, the greatest gap in life is between knowing and doing. I know it and I do it. We don't really know anything unless we have the ability to demonstrate it in our everyday life. That's when we know we really know something, when we're doing a damn thing.
Indeed.
All right, dude.
So it's ownership.
It's ownership. It's implementation. I guess ownership. Yeah, you own it. You own it. You like Lisa Rinna. Own it, honey. Own it. So annoying sometimes.
Okay, this is a tangent, but I know we're going to talk temporal. Too soon is the debate last night. I got to tell you,
Felt like Real
oftentimes
Housewives?
sounded like the Real Housewives when they're hammered and arguing and yelling at each other. I felt like I was sitting next to you watching Real Housewives for a moment.
I believe it.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I feel like no, I'm not. I'm not a political person at all by any stretch of the imagination. You are, but I'm not. So I'm not gonna like pretend to know everything that's happening. But what I do know is that sometimes when people bulldoze that and they go all in, it doesn't even matter what they're saying, if it's correct or not correct. It's everything in the delivery. So it's like I tune out at a certain point, just like you do when you're watching Real Housewives. You're like, I don't care if what they're saying matters. I just don't want to listen to it,
Yeah,
and it's like
the two of them were
just totally
like
tune out. So
were
it's-
like hammered, like teenagers.
Yeah. No, it's too bad.
So anyway,
bad.
sorry,
Hope
when
it
you,
gets
you
better.
just remind me of Real Housewives. Sorry.
Yeah, hope it gets
so,
better.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Real Housewives. I love that show. I don't watch a lot of. I'm such a thinker and such a consumer of like self-help and information that's important. To my perspective, research and that stuff that matters in my life. But I get so full in here that I need to check out. And I used to do that with wine, but now I do it with like Real Housewives.
Not sure which is better.
You don't remember.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
Let's
I'm
see you
kidding.
remember
Yeah.
real quick. Which
Yeah,
one
I
was
know.
better. So, all right, the first thing, let's say you're struggling in your relationship. You're struggling, and this could be any relationship at all, but we are going to get to sex. So, having said that,
On camera.
it's going to be, we're talking about a coupleship here, right? But the other two can apply to any relationship, but all three, just hopefully one, unless it's getting real strange. Unless we're
Derp,
really
derp,
like,
derp,
like, hello, where are you going? Utah. So, listen, when you're on a situation with your significant other and you start to look at them across the table and you're sitting at dinner and and they put the piece of broccoli in their mouth and you watch them chew, and all of a sudden you're looking at them and you're thinking, I wonder what would happen if I stabbed them in the eye with my fork. You start to think these thoughts. You're looking at their mouth and you're thinking, I hate the way they chew.
I thought that was a loving gaze.
You're staring and you're thinking to yourself, if they make more noise with how much broccoli doesn't make noise, how are they making noise with the broccoli in their mouth? And you're starting to have like disdain for things that aren't normal, like the way somebody eats. I mean, you start to forget.
There you go, breathing again.
Yeah, somebody's sitting next to you and they breathe and you go, God damn it. Does it have to be so loud? You have to breathe so loud. You could see this with Rachel and Dave Hollis when their relationship was on the decline. Like, he would come to her and they'd be doing their morning show and he'd be super excited.
Yeah.
And he would say something. Go ahead. Say, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Jesus. Do you have to be so loud? Jesus. That's when you can tell stuff's going awry. All right. So.
That's just not her pleasant demeanor.
I don't think so. She was getting annoyed with everything. So, there you go, breathing again. Jesus. So when you think about, it's easy to look at all the things that are bothering you about the other person. So when I work with a couple, one of the very first things we do when they come in is we say, what made you fall in love with, now this is going to sound like a no-brainer. Oh yeah, cute. I promise you that you have not been doing this exercise in your own relationship. Taking a pause while they're looking at them and they're chewing broccoli and you want to put the fork in the eye, you're not going to go, what do I love about him? What do I remember back when we first met? It's not happening. This is a spiritual practice. This is like a woosah moment. Yes, ma'am?
Oh, no, never mind. I was thinking of the other person, because the person eating the broccoli could be going, I love you so much.
They probably are.
Yeah.
Like, idiot.
Can't believe
You
they
don't
let me
even know
eat broccoli
anything's
like
wrong.
this.
I love the way you make my broccoli. God damn it, you wuss. She was like, okay, so what did you love about the person in the first place when you were first attracted to them? What drew you to that person? And then we take that step further and we say, what do you think drew them to you? What do you think it was about you that drew that person to you? And, a lot of people get very confused and they're like, oh, they were sexy or they were cute or whatever. But what we're really asking is, when you first met this person, how did they make you feel about yourself when you were with them? When they were at their best, what qualities did they bring out in you? And how did you make them feel about themselves when you were at your best, right? So whenever we were first, we know what we bring out, how we can make each other feel at our worst, right? And we do that work with couples too. We go, okay, at your worst, how do you make each other feel at your worst, and things like that. And that's an important part. But the first step to anything is representing to why do we even pick each other? Why do we even choose each other in the first place? We can really lose sight of that.
Mm-hmm. So why did you pick me?
I knew you were going to ask me. So,
besides the lack
The
of
obvious.
lack of ability to withstand sarcastic digs.
okay, well, that was part of it. It was your kindness. I had been attracted up until that point, before I started really working on myself, to men that were a little harder to read, right? Where I didn't quite know how they felt about me. They made me feel nervous when I was around them. I actually thought that was chemistry. I mistook that, right? So whenever I was with you, there were a couple things. Number one, I felt relaxed when I was around you. I felt cared for when I was around you. One of the things I loved about you is I never really had to question. I never really questioned how you felt about me on a regular basis. I had boyfriends up until that point that did love me and did make me feel this way, but I wasn't.
You had no boyfriends before me.
I didn't. I wasn't attracted to them, though.
Okay.
I wasn't really attracted to them. I was really only attracted to the ones that would make me feel. In fact, I remember one guy that I dated for a pretty long time, a couple years. He was a bartender where I lived. I lived across the street, and I walked across the bar, and I really thought I was hot
Like
shit.
Coyote Ugly?
Yeah, didn't walk on the bar, but not yet. Anyway, I did many times, but
What?
I was like, I thought I was hot shit back in those days, and I walked into the bar and I thought, okay, I'm so fabulous or whatever, and I sat down, and he goes, hey, ugly. He said, what's up, ugly? And I was
The
like,
neg.
and I was like, that's my guy. And that worked on me at the time because I was so, I just felt like, oh, but that was a strategy on his part. I just couldn't see it. So your kindness, really. The other thing, I had come to speak. I came to meet you, and then I went to New York because I had a conference that I had to go speak at, and my plane was delayed, and I had nothing. I think I left my money with it. I came off in a rush or whatever, and I didn't have my card or whatever I needed, and you just took care of it. You were like, no problem. There's a hotel for you, whatever. And it was just that I hadn't really had that level of like, we didn't even really know each other that well, and you were like, no, you can't sleep in the airport. You're going to be, and I felt really cared for. So that was something else too. And then the other thing was, you used to post these pictures of the sky all the time, or like the moon or whatever. And I'd be like, it clicked in my mind. I was like, a man that can appreciate the beauty in the moon can appreciate beauty in anything. He can appreciate beauty in the sky, so he can appreciate beauty in me, even though maybe I'm not always beautiful, So
You're always beautiful.
Well,
Even when you're not.
Thank you. Let's be real before we start lying to each other. No, so I think that it's
I still send you pictures.
You do. You take time to appreciate things, and I was so go in my life. I was so achieve, accomplish, dominate, go get it done, and you were the stop, smell the roses. And I recognized that, and I was like, oh, he's going to slow me down a little bit and help me appreciate more of what's around me. So there's so many things, honey. So many things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go next?
No, I don't care. I don't care.
No. So, not to belabor that and take the whole time to talk about all this, because I'm sure they care.
No, we don't need to. Okay. So I think that just
your fine ass.
Well, yeah. So just,
I have to throw it in there.
Just taking the time to sit with your partner and have this talk. Well, hey, what was it about me that really, what drew us to each other in the first place? What were the qualities? And ask your partner, when I was at my best, so this would be a second part of the question. So I would say to you, hey, when I'm at my best, or when I was at my best when we first met, if it's been a while since you've been at your best in your relationship, how did I make you feel about yourself when you were around me when I was at my best?
I felt confident and excited and
I bet. Just kidding.
Double entendre. So yeah, confident, excited, enthusiastic, adventurous, optimistic. Like like wanting to share more and experience more, and create an environment that was fun and growing and adventurous and funny. Even though
I brought that, I get it.
You
I understand. What you lack, you attract. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, for sure, right? So that's good. So I have to remember that if I want to, resolve something that's going on, I'm still capable of doing that. That's still, but if there's a reason that he's not experiencing that, and it's because I'm not at my best. I'm at my worst. So when I'm at my worst, I also have to know what I inspire in other people when I'm at my worst. We can say to ourselves, well, it's just them. It's their problem. They're having that feeling. They're having that reaction. But we, just as we have an influence on how people feel when they're around us, it doesn't stop when they're acting out, and we think that we're not influencing that behavior at all. So we have tremendous influence over each other. So it's really important that we take that seriously. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, your side of the street and my side of the street, and I take care of me and you take care of you, but that's great. That's independence. But we're trying to get interdependent and understand that the bees affect the honey, affect the tree, the flower and the sky and the air, and that's where the joy, interdependent. We're all impacting everybody.
And that's where the joy lies. I mean, if you think about it, when we're doing something we enjoy, whether it's like something as simple as like watching a show or movie or whatever, we instinctively look over to that person and look to go, are you
this funny too?
Are we sharing this moment? Are we sharing this? So to be so independent that you're not sharing, then you're like, well, what's the point? Because it actually, the relationship enhances the experience. It makes fun even more fun.
Well, that's a really good point, and that's why I'm so attracted to you, because I had been so independent my whole life that I saw you wanted to share in that. You sent me pictures of the moon where you're in Milwaukee and I'm in West Virginia, and you're like, go look at the moon. We're sharing the moon experience together. I'm like, who is this guy? You know?
And why does he like the moon so much?
Well,
what a
you
weirdo.
like the shared experience.
Yeah.
You like the connection, you know? So that was really good for me. And I've had to continually learn how to be, and not lose this sense of independence, which I think is really important. You know, we're not losing ourselves in a relationship, but we're learning how to be more interdependent, how to intertwine our relationship and be in a healthy way.
And bring it.
You know, and bring your best attributes together. And it just, marriage and a relationship is a contract. We like to think that a relationship is unconditional love. Unconditional love is bullshit. I really want you to understand that. It really doesn't exist. If we really think it does in heaven, thank the Lord, hallelujah, leave it to the Lord, because we can't do it here. Okay, that's the truth. I think about
To even make the statement that there is unconditional love is conditional.
Just think about it, right? When somebody comes into your life, they come in with a behavioral contract. I like you because you make me feel this way, and this is what you bring. And I like you because you make me feel this way, and this is what you bring. Well, you stop bringing your thing, and I don't really feel about it the same way I did about you anymore. You need to bring your thing. And you know what? I'm not sure if that's a problem, because we do need to bring our thing, you know? And it's not just you need to bring your thing, and then I'll bring my thing. Right? We withhold. Well, I'll do that when you do this. It's that we give what we want, because what's missing in your relationship is what you're withholding. I really want you to understand that. What you're missing in your relationship is what you're withholding. That's one of the last tips that we're going to give. But, you know, you have to recognize it's not just one person not bringing their thing anymore. It's both people usually, right? Because as soon as they stop bringing it, you start keeping score.
And yeah, one of the best sort of opportunities there, the growth opportunity, is looking at what do you want and then bring that.
Well, that's it, Doug.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of that last thing, right?
Yeah.
What do you want, and then bring it. And we're going to talk about that. When you want more sex, or you want more intimacy, or you want more flavor or variety or something fascinating, what are you going to bring it, honey? You know, we'll talk about that. But that leads me to sex, okay? They did a study.
I thought no means no, though.
I don't even understand that joke. I don't even understand. See, that's what I'm talking about. Timing is everything, but I don't even know where it is. I'm trying to find the joke. I'm like, where does it connect? How does no mean no have to do with? Did I say no earlier?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
No.
it's 10:30.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I remember.
That the joke is going too soon, going too far. That's I'm so sarcastic.
Good, I don't get it.
You don't get it.
That's smart. And I think that's true, honey. I'm really gonna tell you. I think sometimes your humor is like here, and I'm kind of down here. I'm lowbrow. You're highbrow. You understand? So I'm lowbrow. Lowbrow's dirty. Lowbrow's like, you know. This is sometimes I have to like try to catch it because I'm like, I don't. Okay. Anywho,
Just saying.
they had a study once on couples that were on the brink of divorce, and they were like, I hate you. Don't touch me. I don't want you to come anywhere near me. In fact, you gross me out. I don't want to look at you. Maybe you're there. I hope not, but you might be. Now,
It'd be horrible.
you would think, I've been there, okay? I've been in relationships where the person would touch me. I mean, I didn't have any before you, but if I did, this might have happened, where I was like, don't touch me. Pretend I'm asleep. Okay? I'll own that, because how did it get to that point? Anyway, when you're with somebody that, you know, these couples, there was like 10 couples, and they were all on that brink where they didn't want to touch each other, they didn't want to do anything at all. And they did an experiment where they said, I want every single one of you to go home and have sex for 10 days straight. And they were like, are you nuts? I'm
When did they
grossed
eat?
out. He's trying to. You're like a plane without a landing strip. You're taking off, but there's nowhere to land. I understand. That's frustrating. So here we
10
go.
days straight.
So, do you see? Okay, and have sex for 10 days in a row. And they were like, are you kidding me? I don't even want this person to touch me. Okay, this is terrifying. And they were like, no, that's the project. You signed up for the experiment. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to tell you something. What do you think happened?
They all got back together.
Every single couple. Why? Because we wait to feel really connected before we foster the intimacy, but intimacy gives you the fuel you need to work on your shit. sex and intimacy is fuel to get through the hard stuff. When you don't have, it's like the gasoline in your relationship. Sex is the gasoline. Endorphins are the gasoline. Dopamine is the gasoline in your relationship. And if you don't have any gas, what is the drive or energy to want to work through anything? You know, that's why people, I'm going to tell you what happens when people are in a relationship and they cheat, okay? They're in a relationship and it sucks and there's no intimacy, there's no sex, and they go outside of the relationship and they have an affair. And then the person they have the affair with is like, oh, thank God, they're going to leave their husband or wife. Oh, yeah, because they don't have any sex. Oh, perfect. I'm going to tell you what that mistress or mister does when they have the affair. They give the husband or wife energy and fuel to go in to deal with the craziness in the marriage. That's why most people cheat and never divorce. They just get fueled up. The person they cheat with is the energy that they need to go work on the marriage. I mean,
and then they're going to need to work
crazy.
even harder because of the.
I know it sounds crazy, right? But that's why most people don't marry the person they cheat with. They go back and stay with their wife forever because why? You're jazzing them up and they can go back in and deal with the shit. And that's what happens. So I'm not telling you yes, no means no. So if you're really not attracted to somebody, okay?
Oh, now you get
it? You're really having this. It was too soon.
Oh,
I tried to tell you. Okay? So you're a plane without the landing strip. I was trying to tell you it's too soon. Okay, so you can have all these challenges, right? But what I'm saying is if there's a glimmer of hope that you want to save the relationship and you're waiting till the communication improves before you have sex, or you're waiting until the finances improve before you have sex, and that's what's really the hang up. It's like tit for tat. It's a scorekeeping situation. It's the carrot. All right? I'll dangle sex in front of you so if you behave like a good boy, you'll get it. Okay? That's a problem. Have the sex now, and that gives you the juice to work on the communication. What?
You set up so many.
I'll dangle like it's a carrot.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
dangle
He's
it, the
dangling,
carrot,
he's dangling carrots.
and then you opened up some fart humor with gas and.
Boy, you restrained yourself.
Well, you were on a roll. I didn't want to start getting into what would happen if you expelled some gas during that, and it was funny. So I'm funny in my own head. I got them.
Well, what I love about you is you're always asking yourself how I can make this better. And when somebody's on a roll and you have a joke, you think, oh, I'm going to make this better because I'm going to add a little fireworks to what they're doing, right? But it's not always doing that. But the intention's pure.
And sometimes I restrain.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's good. Guys, anything else to add on the sex tip? Just the tip?
Let's have just I was going to say, let's have some and just the tip this time. What do you think? I mean, you got...
That game's been played out. I played that game in college every Tuesday night. I am played out on that game. I'm just kidding. Okay. See that humor?
Too soon?
Flat. Falls flat. It's flaccid. It's flaccid jokes, guys.
Flaccid jokes.
Flaccid jokes.
Speaking of sex humor...
Okay.
I don't get it.
So, the last tip that we have for you. So, number one, what did you love about each other? Look, if you're in counseling, couples coaching, if you're going to get deeper in that of what annoys you, people go to therapy to be right. People go to couples therapy to be right. So we're like, can you show him that he's an asshole? Can you tell him I'm right?
Can't you agree with me?
Validate me? Couples coaching is like, we want to fix the marriage. Okay, when I work with a couple, it says, okay, we close all the exits. We're in it to win it, and I have a very high success rate, mostly because I work with two committed people that are in it, that want to win it, and we get in there.
And who are willing to have sex every day for 10 days.
We got to have the sex.
Yep.
There's got to be having of the sex, okay? But there's also room for how you're behaving, and we get really into it. We do a lot of imago theory work with like Harville Hendricks type of stuff, and we really get underneath the hood there, but we have a very good success rate. Having said that, the last tip, okay? What time is it? How are we doing?
We're doing good. 4:36.
Doing good. Riffing.
Yeah.
Is what makes you feel loved? How do you know you're loved in your relationship? I have couples tell me the top 10 ways you know you're loved in a relationship. And it's not just it. Number one, most people don't know when they feel loved. It's like a vague mystery. Love is the one thing that we think is like, It's not a science, right? It's just a mystery. It's an art. I don't know. I just feel it in my heart. Well, love isn't something you feel. Love is a verb. Love is something you do, not something you feel. Infatuation and chemistry and attraction is something you feel. Love is something you do. So when you feel loved, it's an action, okay? So let's just give an example. How do you know you're loved in a relationship, or what do you need for a relationship to work for you? What do you need to feel, experience, or have? Is to say another way of asking that question. What's one thing that you need in a relationship to feel loved and to have it work for you?
Freedom to be myself, to just be unfunny.
Now, if I say that, if a couple says that, I say freedom to be myself. Now, what's the wife going to say? What? Who else would you be? You're totally free. Oh my God, you're so no. So you're free to be whoever you want. Who do you want to be? Go ahead, be it. Well, I don't care who you are. You're who you are. What are you talking about? Okay. And she gets all defensive, like I don't let you be yourself. But no, we're going to go. Well, how do you know you're free to be yourself? What happens when you're not free to be yourself? What conditions are present when you're not free to be yourself?
Critiquing and judgment and statements of lack of approval, or you shouldn't, like just not. I mean, it's critiquing is fine, and obviously there's a time and place for that, but the constant eye rolls, or if you say something or joke, that kind of stuff doesn't, for me, doesn't. I go, that's.
I just did that like 10 times earlier.
Yeah, I know.
So you're saying, really? Oh, honey, I feel so bad. I just did that 10 times earlier.
No, you didn't.
I didn't roll my eyes. I went.
That's different.
Okay, so let's. No, I know what you mean. So let's go a little bit step further. So when you feel like your freedom to be you, underneath of that, what I heard was approval. How do you know you're being approved of? Or
well, it's more accepted.
How do you know when you're accepted?
Well, the difference between the eye roll of like, oh gosh, to kind
There's
of that,
Doug.
yeah, and celebrating those parts rather than going, oh, here he goes again.
Right. Embracing it, letting it be what it is. So what Doug's doing when I ask him questions like that is he's giving me a roadmap of how to be successful and win with him, right? How to love him, how to be with him, how to make him feel nurtured. And so we could go through that with 10 different things. I'll tell you a big one that couples bring to me is they'll say affection. Okay? I need to have affection to feel loved.
That means a lot to a lot of different people.
So let's go. Let's say you were coaching me.
Was that yours?
No, but let's say... Well, yeah, we're both touch people. We both need affection. But if we go down that road and say, what does affection mean to you?
Yeah,
is that sex? Is that touching? How do you... So go that road with me. Okay, so I need affection.
Okay, so what does that look like? What kind of affection?
I love to be hugged. I love to have lots of hugs. I love to have my face taken. I love to have my hair stroked. I love to be snuggled on the couch.
So what are some things that are not affection but could be perceived as affection?
Drive-by random groping. I hear this all the time. I'm telling you right now, because
I do it all the time.
We're not clear on what it is that we want, right? So I'll ask my clients when they say that, I'll say, is sex affection?
Is sex affection?
Sometimes. Right? And then we get into it and we say, how often do you like sex? What's enough sex for you? These are things that, believe it or not, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we don't even know what we like affection-wise. And that's what Tony Robbins always says when he would get with couples and they say, I gave you everything. And then they say,
but not what I needed.
Everything is not what I needed. And so what we want to do is not think that we know our partner like the back of our hand anymore. And we want to be a student again. When you first got to know somebody, when you first met this person, you were really a student. You were studying them.
Well, not only that,
You're
when
figuring
someone,
out what do they like, what don't they
but you're
like,
also
right?
trying everything, and sometimes things work, sometimes don't, and we're not necessarily going, aha, that worked, ooh, that didn't. It's we're throwing everything in the kitchen sink, and then it seems like it's working, and then
Really good point.
Yeah.
And what used to work might not work now, because
Yeah.
not only have we think we know people, we've all been evolving. Not necessarily changing maybe, but certainly hopefully evolving. And maybe what we used to like isn't what we like anymore, and maybe our needs have changed. So the first thing before we get in this conversation with their spouse is we say, what do I need to feel loved? We make that list ourselves. Those top 10 things of how we feel loved. Affection, communication, respect, and then go into each one. When you feel respected, what does that mean? How do you know you're disrespected? What does that look like? Because underneath of that need is a deeper need, is a bigger need. Now, if you're working with me in one of our programs, one of our programs, which our basic entry program is a self-love program where we learned how to, really just not really need the partner necessarily in that way, where we can feel totally fulfilled and be alone and be fine in many ways, so that we can be interdependent. We learn how to be fully independent first, so we don't get knocked around when somebody takes their love away. You might need that program if somebody takes their love away and it knocks you off your access, or if you're so shut down to love, you say, I don't even need it. I don't care about it anymore. But
screw you guys, I'm going home.
yeah, well, we ask ourselves and we say, okay, respect is one thing. I need to feel respected. Well, what's that look like? Well, when I say something, somebody's not rolling their eyes, or they're approving of me or whatever. When I assert my opinion, people listen. There's all these different ways. And then I say with my clients, well, how are you doing at that? Because that's what Doug was saying at the beginning. We be what we want. You don't attract what you want. You attract who you are. So if you're wanting respect from somebody, you have to give it first, and not give it to the person. You have to give it to you, because you lead by example and you teach people how to treat you. If you're not full of self-respect, if you're not full of self-affection, self-love, then expecting your partner could be meeting the needs all day long, but you'll never know it, because you don't even know what it feels like to have the thing you want, because it's so foreign to you. Because you abandon yourself, you reject yourself, you don't even give it to yourself. So when your partner gives it to you, it never feels like enough anyway. But that's some heavy shit. But that's the kind of work we get to do. Right?
Well, and one of the things I did in my growth as looking for the ideal relationship and to have been lucky enough to attract and keep you in my world was getting clear on what kind of relationship I wanted. What would that look like, sound like, feel like? What are some, experiences, and got really clear about like what that would look like. And then I was like, all right, well, in order to attract that and keep that, who do I have to be? What do I have to bring to the table? What is going to be the ideal man to attract and keep that ideal woman? And you pretty much you got all of my my list.
I did? Mm-hmm. Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm appreciate it.
And the only one that I had that was a deal breaker, but
I was a smoker.
yeah.
I loved me some marbles back in the day.
Yeah,
And then I did
but I got
American
over it.
Spirits because
Yeah.
I thought I'd be healthier.
Yeah.
I used to love cigarettes so much. That was harder to give up than alcohol and everything else. The cigarettes, man, it was really, I enjoyed a good cigarette. It's like my best friend. It was always there for me.
I got nothing.
Smoking's bad, kids.
I'm a former smoker as well, but I had been non-smoker for many years before we
And then
met.
I was a rebel, so I'd get in your car and smoke in it. Not only did you not want to smoke, I'd smoke in your car and be like, what? It's fine. Because I was like a wild stallion. You had to try to break me whenever you...
Yeah, but that was only when you were...
drinking as well, yeah.
And more than just... It wasn't just drinking. It was those moments when you were like, fuck you.
Okay.
I'll
That's a story
smoke
for another
anyway.
time, guys, about how we overcame our...
Yeah.
Even if you're in a relationship and you have some rough patches or rough spots or things that are deal breakers in your relationship, when you have the fundamental things in place and you realize that you likely chose your partner for a reason, even if they're, frustrating you, upsetting you, driving you crazy, it's the lesson, and you really, until you get the lesson, and you might not be meant to be with this person might not be, you might not be able to fix this. Okay, it might be time to go. I don't know for sure, but what I do know for sure is until you fully understand why you picked them and what attracted you to them on all angles and why you attracted this relationship and tolerated it or in it, you'll repeat it. And it'll just be, the grass is not greener, man. You are the grass, and you take the grass with you to every single relationship you get into. So we need to start here. We need to love ourselves first. That's the whole message of everything. And everything pours out from there. So hopefully you found this helpful today. And if you have, make sure you leave a comment, subscribe, let us know, share. And as always, if you have a topic you want to request us to do, just go over to lovecoachheidi.com and scroll down, and there'll be a place that says request a video. That also includes the stuff we do together. Or if you want to see a video topic on a very specific question you have about your marriage or your relationship with your children or your mom or your dysfunction or a narcissist, or, I deal in dysfunction mostly. That's my jam. I deal in dysfunction, toxic, weird dynamics. I love it. And I'm able to help you resolve that stuff pretty quickly and forever, okay, on many, many levels. Like the light goes off and it goes on and it stays on, all right? So go
And
to
thank you for not
lovecoachheidi.com.
attracting dysfunction.
Why?
Well, because we don't.
Because Mama had to work through her business.
No, I know. Yeah,
Okay.
That's why. That's how. I meant why. I thought you meant why. Are you glad that you haven't brought dysfunction?
Oh, well,
Context is key.
You brought a healthy form of excitement where I used to confuse
Oh, I think that's
dysfunction for attraction. I used to confuse unhealthy for chemistry. I thought normal was boring. So I only wanted to be in relationships that were like toxic or dysfunctional because I felt like that was exciting.
yeah.
I had that confused.
Okay, come on
Come on
in.
in, sweetheart. Come here.
I need to get the leash.
You do. Do you want to say hello? Say hi.
Oh, Shuggy wants to say hello in her fancy gold dress.
Oh, her new
Oh,
fancy dress. We just
yeah.
got her.
Okay.
We just got her little dress the other day.
Yeah, she looks
Yeah.
so cute. Okay, what are we doing? I have a client. I have a little session I need to do really quickly. Okay.
So what do we? We're
And then
gonna
I'm all
sign.
yours.
We're gonna sign off, Ellie. What do we say?
Did you want to do the theme song?
See what you told.
I thought you were gonna do It's Heidi and Doug, the Hug Show. It's my mom and dad. What are you gonna do?
It's Heidi and Doug. So let's go to.
I like it. That's good, baby. All right. Bye bye,
Awesome.
guys. We love
So
you.
we love you for who you are, and
Who you aren't.
very good. All right. God bless. We'll see you next week.
Rock and roll.
See, that's my girl.
I love you.
And sweetness and kind and
Oh,
love.
you are.
That's right.
Always, every day.
All right. We'll see you.